Hey team, today we're going to talk about leadership with Colonel Ced Carrington. Colonel Carrington is a 1994 graduate of Florida A&M University. Go Rattlers.
Go Rattlers.
All right, he's an infantryman and he is the definition of what I would call a Fort Bragg guy. 82nd Airborne all the way, commanded a company, was a field grade, did his major's time, and commanded a battalion all in the 82nd Airborne. Currently, Colonel Carrington works at the Center for Strategic Leadership here at the Army War College. He's got 5 combat deployments, over 42 months deployed, 1 deployment to Iraq, and 4 separate times to Afghanistan. And he is married to his wife, Davina. She is a retired Army Lieutenant Colonel, so they did have that Army power couple thing going on. And she's retired now, but we're appreciative for her service. And for the first question, Ced, I just want to ask you, if you could go back in time and you could talk to yourself when you were a cadet, what are some advice that you would give to Cadet Ced Carrington?
Understanding the importance of 3 things: mentorship, reputations, and fitness. Taking full advantage of your youth and vigor to get after a lot of fitness goals. I have a lot of goals that we've established for myself and my wife for fitness, but it's a lot easier when you're 20-something versus being 40-something. So really, that is an investment in your body that you'll continue to get returns on for the rest of your life. So the importance of fitness as a youngster in college and as a second lieutenant, and that's a meaningful way to make a first impression to any leaders when you report within the military. That's the first thing. Reputation. So Eric and I worked together back in 2003, 2004 at Human Resources Command, and we've crossed paths since then. And we don't forget names or faces, or more importantly, how other people make you feel. There's several folks here at Carlisle Barracks who I've served with before, and optimally, we all have strong reputations, so we can just pick up where we left off and not have any baggage or luggage to carry when it comes to establishing and reconnecting those relationships. So reputation is critically important, and the folks that you meet in ROTC in college, you're going to continuously cross paths with over and over again. And the last piece is the importance of mentorship. Finding great mentors, irrespective of their branch or their goals and yours, they can always foster the environment to help you to create the conditions for your success. You can bounce things off of a mentor who's not within your chain of command. That mentor can provide that feedback back to you so you look like a hero in front of your boss. So the importance of mentors is critical. And then also the reputation piece, understanding the things you do now and the effects that they will have 20 years down the line. And fitness, continue to push yourself for physical fitness.
Yeah, those are great 3 tips. I mean, physical fitness is how it all starts, especially you show up at the unit as a new lieutenant. You got to be fit, and then having a mentor is key. We can't go on this journey alone. We got to have people help us as we move forward and keep going. So Ced, you know, leadership changes.
Yes.
From being a lieutenant to being a captain, company commander, to being a field grade, to being a battalion commander. Talk about how that leadership changes and how you would kind of give people advice as they move up and through the ranks.
Okay, so it's funny you mention that, because I have a theory that I share with officers, particularly around the time when they're being considered for promotion. A lieutenant and expectations for a lieutenant versus that of a captain or a field grade major. Let's just imagine a hallway, and you have a young high-speed paratrooper running down that hallway, and he cuts the corner real quick, and he snags his his knee on something protruding from the wall. My expectation for a lieutenant would be to immediately apply pressure, address the wound, and call for help to make sure the soldier's okay, and move on from there. As a captain, the expectation is a little bit broader. That expectation is to look at the problem, to look at the protrusion, figure out why it's there, tape it off, and warn everyone else to stop running and don't turn this corner so quickly. Express the lessons learned from this one trooper being injured to prevent the injury of other troopers. But as a field grade, you're looking at and defining systems. Why is there a protrusion there? Who do I need to talk to fix that protrusion? Do I need to talk to the building engineers or to DPW? So you're not looking at the problem in isolation of a soldier with a puncture or wound to his knee. You're now looking at what was the cause for that, and how can I develop a system to get after the issue at hand, the protrusion in the wall. and who's capable, who's empowered to make those changes. And that can be applied to the level of leadership or the level of problem solving that lieutenants, captains, or field grades apply through their perspective or through their scope when looking at a problem.
That's a great image, and that's I'm going to take that one with me, because a lot of people think, well, I just get promoted, I just keep doing what got me there. But that's a great analogy to show how you got to transform and mature in your thinking and in the way you solve problems and the way you lead. So I appreciate that vignette. All right, Ced, you talked about mentorship. You've worked for a lot of great people, a lot of great mentors in your career.
Lots.
Who are some of the best leaders you've ever worked for, and what were the lessons that you took from working for them?
Okay, the two that immediately come to mind are General Dorian Anderson, who's the commander at HRC. I served as his aide-de-camp back in 2003, where Eric and I worked together, and Mark Stammer, who is the Brigade S3, now a Major General. He was a major when I was a captain, and I learned a lot from him as well. With Anderson, I learned about approach, his attitude, his demeanor towards problems every day. Good days, bad days, his approach did not change. He was optimistic, and he was grounded in faith. So coming back from Fort Bragg, and we had a pretty uncompromising and unforgiving deployment to Afghanistan back in the late 2001 period, August 2001. Leaders were unforgiving, and it was really a par for the course. But when I got to HRC and I started working for General Anderson, even when we faced challenges for manning and everything else, particularly as we looked at the surge for Iraq, he never changed his approach, and that's something that I put in my kit bag and I try to carry with me everywhere I go, particularly when I'm facing a challenge. How would Dorian Anderson approach this problem? First mentor. Second one that I've really learned a lot from, as I mentioned, was Mark Stammer. As a Brigade S3, he was home every night by 1800. As a Brigade S3, he was able to go to all of his daughter's ballet recitals, as well as lead his son's Boy Scout troop. We know all this because he talked about it all the time, because that was really just the importance of family to him. But he taught us balance, and he taught us priority, and he was the first one to really inculcate meaning to the military family. And with Major Stammer at the time, he would come in at unknown hours, 3:30 in the morning, to make sure he's able to get everything done, so that he is able to go home at night at 1800 and have dinner with his family, and then support his kids' activities. So that's something that I learned from him. The family piece is, when he first brought me and he counseled me and said, "Hey, Carrington, there are going to be some times where you fail. There are going to be some times where you fall flat on your face, but I'm going to be the first one to pick you up, dust you off, and tell you to go get it right. And we're going to keep doing it until you get it right." So that instilled in me the confidence that I could do anything under this guy, because he was going to underwrite any mistakes that we make in the name of development and improvement. And plus, you just want to go extra hard and work extra hard because you don't want to let him down. So that's Anderson, that's Stammer, and I thank you both for your contributions to my development.
And those are some great lessons from two great leaders that you had worked with balance, the importance of counseling and bringing you into the team, and then with General Anderson and his calm approach,
right.
Which was definitely noticeable being around him. So final question
Yes.
I like to end with is just kind of, what is Ced Carrington's #1 leadership tip?
It's hard to really have one, but I would say when I have a command philosophy, I started honing this as a company commander. It's called master the tools of your warfighting trade, and it can be applied anywhere to anything that you do. For me, it means understand your job, do all that you can, do the necessary research and homework so you're ready to execute efficiently. Master the tools of your warfighting trade, master your craft, master your skills, so you can be the best at it.
That's a good one, and it's a simple one, but it's not simple to do.
Yes.
And I appreciate your words today, Ced. I appreciate your service and your wife's service.
Thanks,
and thanks for leading our men and women overseas, especially with all those deployments. And thanks for being on Lopez on Leadership.
Thank you.